All right, y'all. Welcome back to another review from Shay Renee Online, where we talk food, fitness, and reality TV. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I'm going to apologize to y'all for the background noise. It's a storm going on right now. So y'all just listen to me and don't worry about what's going on behind me. I'm just saying. Okay. So, if you are new here, then you won't know that we always like to clear the air before we start talking about anything. So, this is what we do to make sure that you guys know that anything that I say is just my raggedy ass opinion and I don't really care what nobody else thinks. So, let's just get into it.
Good for me. That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
And I yell.
Do you not
How
get
do
it?
you know what's
That's
good
my
for
opinion.
me?
All right, so let's get into this review where Garcelle. Here you go. Sorry about that, y'all. Background noise. All right, so let's get into this review where Garcelle pretty much tells that good old Dorit about herself. So we're going to get into that at some point. So the episode starts off where Rena's daughter Amelia and her boyfriend Eyal pull up and she shows her mom's wedding dress. Amelia says she's probably going to be the first one to get married. So she's looking at the dress like, this going to be my dress. I don't know about my sister because I don't know what she doing over here with Scott Disick because he old as sin, and this is just a fling, but whatever the case may be. Which it seemed like Renda loved to bring up Scott Disick as much as she can. I don't know if she obsessed with him or the daughter. I don't understand. But anyway, the boyfriend pretends so y'all go ahead and talk about that. I'll be back later. So he comes back. I guess it was pretty playful. And then they start trying on the dresses and, they show little flashbacks of the girls of Rena when she actually wore the dresses. And then she says that, those dresses are pretty expensive. Then they talk about how her husband, Harry, bought some of the dresses and all this, that, and the third. So the dresses are expensive. Okay. So Rena has been preserving these dresses in a garage, which I think in a previous episode she said it's like climate controlled. Because I'm thinking, why she don't got the dresses in the house? The girls ain't home that much, so maybe you can use their rooms now. I don't know, but anyway. So anyway, she's showing the girls all their dresses. The girls were trying them on. Rena has an emotional moment seeing them grow up. Y'all asked Rena about her lip kits and says he sent one to a family member that loves it. And Crystal offered, so she talks about how Crystal offered to have her, I guess, launch party or whatever the case may be at her house. Okay. So that just kind of introduces her coming out with her lip line. I guess it introduces the daughter's boyfriend and the next level of life for them potentially. So kudos to Rena and her family growing and her life changing probably in the next couple of years because she's talking about how she is afraid of being an empty nester and all that good jazz. So in the next scene, Dorit comes to Crystal's home and they look at the decorations that are set up for Rena's party. They discuss Kyle's Christmas dinner and how it was intense. Dorit says Erica walked in like a shell of herself and it wasn't right for everyone to pounce on her. Dorit says Garcelle has made jabs at her and it's starting to piss her off. She says Garcelle doesn't have the guts to say what she really feels about her, which if y'all been watching the show, Garcelle don't have no issue saying nothing to none of y'all, actually. And Dorit, you talk so much. I don't even know if you can even hear anybody else saying anything because you talk, according to all the ladies, at least for 30 minutes to make one little point. So I just think that Dorit doesn't like for anybody to challenge her in any kind of way. If somebody else is challenging somebody else, it's okay. But if somebody challenging her, she has a problem. But you talk so daggone much that you can't shut up enough to hear what somebody is saying. So that kind of rolls into, I guess, what happened with the scene where she and old girl end up telling her F yous, but we'll get into that. So I really didn't understand how, I really thought Crystal would have kind of, because Crystal seems like a very sensible person. I was really hoping that Crystal would kind of put Dorit in her place and give her proper perspective and just pretty much tell her that she's kind of like having an issue that's really not an issue with Garcelle. Because, like I said, Garcelle throughout the season, even when she was introduced to the show, she's been pretty consistent with making sure that she says what she needs to say and that's that on that. She don't talk about them behind their backs in any sort of way. Like things are pretty much, handled front face in person. So in the next scene, Erica is cleaning her home and says she hasn't lived alone in 30 years. So she's always cleaning and lonely. Well, it's a lonely life when you're getting sued. Glam Squad can't afford them anymore? Guess not. So Rena comes by and brings a gift for Kyle to Erica's home and some champagne. Kyle comes over and it's her birthday. So Rena says she had dinner with Dorit and Sutton and they felt like their questions weren't answered. Kyle says that Sutton basically doesn't want any problems with her reputation in association with Erica's legal issues. Erica was upset and says Sutton's small town mindset is ridiculous and cowardly. Kyle asks why didn't you leave for I'm sorry, y'all. I can't understand what I wrote. Kyle asked, didn't you leave for a long time? I guess Erica, didn't she leave her husband for a long time at some point, which I've never heard her talk about that, or I never knew that that actually happened. And then Erica recounts the time she was with Yolanda and she said, boys, and Yolanda said, boys will be boys. So Erica went home and went through Tom's phone and says she found evidence of him cheating. So she started making plans to be financially successful. So she can stand on her own 2 feet. So here's what I think about that. First of all, Erica, you can't get mad at Sutton because she doesn't want to be around your potentially criminal ass. Okay. So I mean, that's just everybody at that table that actually admitted it said that they sought legal counsel. I mean, if I'm rich and I'm on a TV show, I don't want to be intertwined with any of your BS. Okay. So you can't be mad at Sutton about that. And Sutton has been pretty outward with how she feels about her reputation, Southern debutante or not. You can't be mad at her over that. So you need to be worried about what you got going on in your own little bubble of foolishness and not be worrying about what somebody else and how they feel about being around you. Get over yourself and get to your problems and deal with them on your own because they're not nobody else's issue but yours. Okay. So then, I didn't really like how it was presented that, Sutton and Dorit felt like their questions weren't answered. It felt like Erica was silently bullying Erica behind her back, which is nothing silent about what was said. The only person that's really continuing to be honest about what was said is Sutton. Dorit is the one that is lying and making up, she's saying one thing in the group with the ladies, and then when Erica comes around, she seems to be a scared little lamb, like she don't even know how to respond, and she don't want to be on Erica's bad side. Which my thing is Erica going to slap y'all? Is she beating y'all up behind the scenes? Like, why are y'all scared of this girl? She's a cupcake for real. Like, the tone in her voice when she does that and makes the little face, and y'all know how she do where she seemed like she trying to cuss them out. I wouldn't be scared of her. Erica light work for real. I don't even know why y'all scared of her. But anyway, the ladies sit there to have a couple of drinks. Rena continues to be Erica's lapdog because she seemed to be ride or die for Erica, which I don't understand. I will continue to say, I don't understand why she can be so ride or die for Erica, somebody she's known for what, 5, 6 years, versus her good friend Denise from last season. She was pressed to tell everybody that she slept with what's that girl, Brandy Glanville. She was pressed to get it out on TV, but you couldn't have your friends back. But now you all ride or die for Erica. Interesting. But anyway, moving right along. In the next scene, the ladies gather at Crystal's home for Rena's launch party for her lip kits. Dorit says there are things that are bothering her about Garcelle, and she doesn't know why she's making so many jabs at her. She says she feels like Garcelle is bullying her. She said Garcelle says she talks a lot. She said Garcelle says she talks a lot, and she brought up the Crystal and Sutton situation. Then she brings up Kyle's dinner. Then Garcelle said Dorit was changing her story about Erica. So basically, Dorit recaps. They're all sitting at the table. They're all chatting about a bunch of nothing. So Dorit utilizes she says Garcelle's name. I guess she was saying thank you for having this event. She was supposed to say Crystal, but she said Garcelle. I think she said that on purpose. It made it seem like she was making a mistake, but she said Garcelle's name because she wanted to basically start the conversation with Garcelle and tell her how she really felt and feeling like Garcelle was bullying her. So she brought up the situation when they were at Kyle's home And forgot where the heck they were. But when they were in Kyle's home and the situation came up where Garcelle brought up that Erica revealed to them that Tom was still calling her. So she tried to use that as ammunition as to where Garcelle's kind of like throwing jabs at everybody in the group here and there. But I feel like, Dorit, if you're going to come for Garcelle, utilize your own stuff. If you feel like she is truly bothering you, talk about the stuff that she's doing to you specifically. Don't talk about anything that she's doing to anybody else, because at that point, you just reaching and you just trying to find a gang to come behind you to back you up on your bullshit. Okay. So anyway, Garcelle tells her to stop it because she's not bullying her. She tells Dorit she always hijacks the conversation and doesn't give anyone a chance to speak. And Dorit asks if Garcelle considers them friends. And Garcelle's yes, but she feels like an outsider in the group still, and she isn't sure why. Which, Garcelle, I don't know why you feel like an outsider in the group. Maybe you keeping yourself on the outside. Who knows? I mean, you seem to be pretty close with Sutton, and we can't really use the because I'm black thing because it doesn't seem like they really make any differences in you because you're black. I mean, not from what I see. I mean, she didn't say that, but I'm thinking that could be the only thing that creates you as sort of an outsider. I don't know, but it seems like you blend in very well with the group. I think the biggest difference between Garcelle and the other ladies is Garcelle wants to tell the truth and they want to continue to lie about their life. And she brings it up. She says, listen, that doesn't make any sense. Just like she called out that good Dorit in the last episode, where she said, that's not what you said the last time we were hanging out. So I think Garcelle is placed perfectly in the group to keep these heifers honest. Okay. So Dorit says if she has a problem, she should just say it. Meaning, if Garcelle has a problem with her, she should just tell her what the problem is and just say it in the moment. And Garcelle said the jabs were her way of telling her how she felt. So Garcelle doesn't really feel like it's a jab. She feels like I'm telling you right then and there how I feel. Whether you consider it to be a jab or not is your own business. But I am just telling you how I feel in the moment, and I'm telling you that you're full of shit. Okay? You just may not want to accept it at the time. So Dorit begins to say she had a problem with Kyle, then you had a problem with Erica in Palm Springs. Then Garcelle says, fuck you for bringing that up. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Who's next? Y'all know that good Garcelle was in Coming to America. So anyway, the ladies convince Garcelle gets up to leave because she's like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and deal with Dorit talking a bunch of nonsense because it doesn't even make any sense. And she's trying to make it about her. She rambling on and on about nothing that doesn't make any sense. And again, I'm not going to stick around for this. So the ladies convinced Garcelle to stay because she was going to leave. And Erica chimes in and says, I didn't say don't mention it to the group, Garcelle. So meaning the situation in Palm Springs where, she basically told Crystal, I guess, not to mention it to don't say anything to the group. But she came to Garcelle's defense and was basically like, I didn't tell Garcelle not to say anything. So kudos to Erica for actually standing up for Garcelle in that moment, because Dorit was really trying to take on something that didn't have anything to do with her, just to kind of add it on to her list of reasons why Garcelle is, I guess, a shit stirrer, which is not true at all. So then Sutton speaks. I don't even know what the girl said, child, because Erica immediately jumped in and says, you shut up, Miss Small Town Girl. I'm worried about my reputation. You shut up. You can laugh all day, girl. Because Sutton starts to laugh as Erica is saying all of that. Because she's like, girl, what the hell is your problem? And then she says, you can laugh all day because we can go all day in this motherfucker with your legal opinions that you need. So she was like, get another motherfucking legal opinion. I'm like, now, Erica, you can't be mad at Sutton because, again, she went and got some legal advice, because I'm on this whole national TV show with you. I'm not trying to be on the stand with your ass because I don't know nothing about your finances. And hell, frankly, I don't want to be a part of it at all. I don't want nobody to say I said nothing about chick nor child. Okay. So listen, don't come for me because I didn't send for you, really. I'm trying to send you away, honestly. And I'm talking to my lawyers about it so I don't have to be in the midst of your bullshit. Okay. So Erica, miss me with all of that. Like you try to be real gangster when you really not. I see through all of that BS because Erica wouldn't bust a grape, okay? So all of y'all that's scared on this show, it seem like they all scared of her. I don't understand. Cause I'd be asking her all the good questions and I would have nothing, no, never mind about it. Girl, are you getting sued? Did your husband steal the money from them daggone orphans? Hello, Erica, are you a part of it? Did did the money go to the glam squad? I'm just saying. I'd be asking all that. Hmm. So Erica says for you to sit at her house saying you don't want to be around me, that small town shit is whack. Girl, bye. So Dorit brings it back up, and Garcelle says, leave it between us. Don't discuss something that doesn't have anything to do with you. And Kyle says, let's just say we need to say what happened, what we feel when it happens moving forward. And I think Kyle, she was so nervous, she knocked the daggone glass over, child. So maybe she's scared of Erica too. She felt so uncomfortable in that moment. She didn't even know what to do. So she tried to change the subject with the quickness. So the scene ended with them saying, Dorit saying, I hear what you're saying. No, Garcelle saying, I hear what you're saying. From now on, I'll say what I need to say when it happens. So that kind of gave me, I'm coming for you from here on out, Dorit. And you done sent for me, so I'm coming for you every single time, and you will not get away with it anymore. So you can talk for 45 minutes, but I'm going to end it in 30 seconds. How about that? So anyway, moving right along, in the next scene, Kyle goes to Kathy's house to chat with her, and they discuss American Woman and why they weren't talking for almost 10 years. They discuss the dynamic of their relationship and how it sometimes changes. Where Kathy and Kim are cool, then Kathy and Kyle are cool, then Kyle and Kim are cool, and they not cool with Kathy, and it's just a mix of the relationships with the sisters. And Kyle says that, sometimes she feels left out. And she talks about how her mom used to make sure that they stayed close and that, they always remained sisterly, no matter what type of issues they had. And they want to make sure they remain close. So they talk about how they want to make sure they remain close and don't let things get between them again. So apparently, Kathy was upset that Kyle was doing American Woman and she felt like the mom was going to be portrayed in a negative light, which I feel like most of that could have been alleviated if they just simply, I don't know how much they have conversations about this stuff or how much they really positively communicate, because I know a lot of times with situations, with family situations, people want to keep it swept under the rug and they damn sure don't want it to be on a publicized television show. Okay. But from what Kyle was saying, American Woman was really not about the mom specifically. It was really kind of a parody of how Kyle's life went as she was a child. So I didn't watch American Woman, so I can't really speak to how it really showed their family and their light. But I just feel like, with them having the relationship that they have now, they seem to be close and they seem to really love each other. I don't want them to feel like they have to walk on eggshells and they can't talk to each other about certain things, because when you feel like that within a family unit, that can be tragic. And it will constantly create issues in any relationship. So when people come to a situation ready to listen to each other, open up to each other, and really be positive and be able to accept when someone doesn't agree with you, I think it's easier for people to move on in a positive light and remain in a healthy relationship where one person doesn't feel like they have to change because someone else doesn't agree with something that they've said or done. So hopefully, Kathy has been a real true gem on this show. I love their relationship. I love seeing her and Kyle laughing and really just having a good time together. They've actually been sort of a relief in all of the drama that's going on amongst the ladies on the show. So I hope that they can maintain in a positive space. I hope all three of them, Kathy, Kyle, and Kim, can remain in, find a positive space, because it was really nice to see them sit down and really kind of hash things out and hopefully move to a place where this is a positive, ongoing, permanent situation of them being in a positive sisterly relationship, a healthy sisterly relationship, if that makes sense. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when the next time I come on to grace your screen, okay? And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Whoops, thank you guys.